Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to game 2 of this best of 5 from the EPS Winter Tournament, and it is between XMG's Monchi, who is the green Protoss player in the lower right position, and ATN's DarKFoRcE, the red Zerg in the top left. The map is Antigua Shipyard. I believe it is force cross spawn positions, and well, this is so far an amazing series. Game 1, it was pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. If you haven't watched it, then I really do suggest that you flick over to my channel, pause this video, and, well, watch it, because otherwise you may be a bit confused when I tell you that the winner was Monchi. He played really solidly. He held off a big, aggressive push from DarKFoRcE and just went on to roll stop his way to a victory. A lot of it was down to taking out that fourth base with a brilliant little timing push involving a couple of Immortals and an awful lot of Zealots, and from there, DarKFoRcE, he was really pigeonholed into being the aggressor, and it just didn't work out for him. So I'm really interested to see how game 2 goes. We've got Monchi, obviously, yet again, going for the fast expansion. The pylon is down, and this position is getting pretty much the normal in the metagame. You did used to see pylons down here using the Nexus as part of the wall off, but nowadays, especially with the force cross spawn, Protoss players are feeling very confident in just walling off this humongous area, and that's good. That's good for them. Now, obviously, the probe is down here again, and in game 1 we saw this from Monchi, where he was happy to scout really early on, just to get an idea of this spawning pool timing, and he used that as really his justification of not going for a forge first, but rather getting the Nexus down very early, which helped him economically hugely. On Antigua, we may see some different play actually, because the third base is quite easy for Zerg to take for a start. It's a lot harder to take out compared to on Cloud Kingdom. The center areas are quite nice. This is a better attack angle for Protoss, purely based on the fact that it's narrower, and as a result, you can get some nice force fields down in here, and everything's just pretty fantastic. Now, looking down, obviously we do have that probe about to die if it's not careful, and obviously DarKFoRcE is going to want to get down his hatchery, so we'll leave it yet to live. We do see now the forge going down, so it was a Nexus first out of Monchi yet again, who is clearly showing that he is brave when it comes to going for the risky economy. That Overlord will see the timings of everything and should be pretty much aware of where it's all going down. Meanwhile, no gas of course yet for Monchi. That won't come down for a while. The third base for the Protoss on this map is quite an interesting one. And the reason I say that is this isn't a very nice area for Protoss to defend against Zerg. It's very wide, it's very open, it allows those good Zergling kind of encasements, and as a result of that, I think Monchi's going to stick on 2 base for quite a while. One thing that does have a lot of potential is, of course, drop play, just due to the dead space behind the main, and also coming into the third, so we may see that. Looking like some early aggression coming out here though from DarKFoRcE. Only 4 Zerglings, they're not going to get over there in time to really be a threat. That second gateway just getting chucked down will complete the wall off, and we'll probably see Monchi just go ahead and cancel that once the photon cannon finishes, and as a result the Zerglings would have no hope of getting into this base, and as you can see the AI already taking them off track. So this is all pretty good. Obviously DarKFoRcE, he's a good player, he's going to pull back knowing he's safe. Now, looking here, the 4th base coming down at about 4 minutes 27, so a bit later than you would necessarily want. Obviously, the target is about 4 minutes 20, but more and more I'm seeing Zerg players go for a timing a lot closer to 4 minutes, some even before then at 3:55, which really does help you, especially when your Protoss opponent has gone for just such an early natural base and Nexus first. So the reason you go for that very quick third is obviously to stay ahead economically, and the reason you can get it a lot sooner than we saw DarKFoRcE do here is by skipping those 4 Zerglings, and as you can see, these Zerglings so far haven't paid for themselves. They've just got a bit of scouting information. The other one's running around checking for pylons, and one's staying at the watchtower. The one on the watchtower is fine. I think getting 2 Zerglings out is a good position early on for Zerg, purely because it allows you to scout for any kind of pylons, cannons, etc. that could be an early game threat to you, and the other one can go and sit at the watchtower, and you can be really happy about that. Before, well, 2 are just sitting around looking at your own base, which isn't particularly helpful. Now, looking at Monchi, he's got his first 2 gas up now. He's got his cyber core on the way. The cybernetics core is researching warp gate tech. We do of course have the forge down, but no +1 started at the moment. For DarKFoRcE, he's getting his first 2 gas up already. That's slightly earlier than we saw in game 1, but not by much. Generally you see Zerg players go for it at the 40 to 50 supplies I mentioned. I'm surprised he hasn't taken it at the natural. Again, I mentioned this in game 1, but it just means that then if the Protoss player does poke up, they can be a bit confused about what's going on. Also, this Overlord placement, absolutely brilliant. It just shows that these rocks are getting taken out, which is really critical. Also, the Overlord placed almost over here is a good position to put it in, because it keeps an eye out for any pylons that may be in play. I'm surprised there isn't an Overlord in this area though, because this is another very common place to put down a pylon for Protoss players. Now, looking here, we've got the Robo coming down, so it's a 1-gate Robo, really kind of tech path wise, that's all good. The Roach Warren on its way down, if I can find that. There we go. No Evolution Chamber yet. Again, would like to see that relatively soon. Monchi going for a very similar build to what we saw at the start of Game 1, where he went that 1-gate Robo into 3 more gateways. Remember in Game 1 he used those to wall off his natural, and I'll be interested to see whether he goes for the same thing. The Overlord coming in to see all of this, so it's all going to get scouted. Good timing by DarKFoRcE. Sacrificing the Overlord at about 7:30 is generally a good time to do it. In the lower leagues, you can afford to do it probably slightly later, maybe about 8 minutes, but still, I personally am very, very fond of sacrificing the Overlord, and as Zerg you need to be able to produce the units that at the right time for a start and against the right composition. So if you've scouted, you've lost 100 minerals, yes, but you're not going to die, which is always an important thing. These Zerglings already starting to pick off the rocks. This is just ready to start dealing with this third base, making it a bit more awkward for Monchi to be able to deal with it. And, well, sorry for the misclick there. And, well, we've got Warp Gate Tech obviously finished up. We've got the Twilight Council coming down. Meanwhile, for DarKFoRcE, we do have the Lair on its way. Again, no creep spread, and this really does disappoint me as someone who I really do feel creep spread is a very strong mechanic for Zergs. It gives scouting, it gives movement speed, and at the very least you need to really skip one inject in order to get a creep tumor here that can go down to your natural, that can join up to your third, because especially on a map like Antigua, look at this area without creep spread. It's absolutely huge. This macro hatch will obviously help stop that and give him a bit more space, but again, it's something that you could really do without, especially if there's any kind of drop play going down. Meanwhile, these rocks are slowly dying. They take absolutely forever to kill with Zerglings, so good on DarKFoRcE for starting that off early. He's getting Barrow started yet again. Also the Roach speed. Now we've got more gateways being added on here. This will take us up to 7 gates for the Protoss player, and obviously with the robotics facility as well. He's got the 2 Immortals, he's got the 3rd one coming out, and a 4th in production. Now due to the fact he hasn't started his 3rd base yet, which DarKFoRcE is aware of due to this Zergling, I'm thinking it's going to be a 2-base timing push, and it's going to be going out with the 3 Immortals, which is very, very strong. The interesting thing is actually though, the 4th Immortal has been queued up, and they are going to go up here to clear out the 3rd. So Monchi looking like he's going to happily expand rather than go for some kind of 2-base play. And the other reason that I think is quite an interesting thing getting this Immortal is a lot of Protoss players, and even Monchi we saw in Game 1, go for a Warp Prism earlier, just to allow them to resupply, especially with these additional gateways being added on. Upgrade wise, the +2 on its way down, it's already half done, and Blink is half done as well. This is a big force though for DarKFoRcE, who's now pulling roughly 40 supply ahead in terms of the worker count. He is ahead as well, but only by 10, so not a huge amount. He hasn't taken his 6th gas yet. He's taking his 4th base in the center. That's going to be ahead of that of Munchi's 3rd even, so that's a good play at the moment. And obviously the Zergling's going to be getting there a bit in front. The +2 missile attack on its way down. Upgrade wise, just the +1 missile attack, which is good, but if this doesn't really work, then DarKFoRcE is in a bit of an awkward spot, because the missile attack upgrades don't really carry on further in the tech other than roaches. So here we go. Are we going to see a bit of engagement? We do have some roaches coming from behind, but some money force fields coming down from Monchi right there. He is trapping so many of those roaches. The Immortals are unable to get focused down, which of course means they're able to do just so much damage. 6 kills and, well, 4 kills on another and 6 kills on a 3rd. So this is really, really effective play. Immortals just so strong against roaches. Some more warpings coming down as well. This wall off for the 3rd being ever so good, preventing DarKFoRcE from being able to go and snipe off that 3rd Nexus from Monchi early on. And, well, we're seeing what could be an absolutely devastating counterattack, but DarKFoRcE resupplying with 15 roaches and 12 more Zerglings. He has got a big force, but the thing which is going to cause him problems is there's still 4 Immortals on the field, and that is really quite a lot, especially as you can see here, they're already racking up quite a few kills there. So to be honest, this is going to start getting difficult times. They've got the +2 ground weapons as well, so they're going to absolutely shred through these roaches with no armor upgrades, and that could cause a big, big problem for DarKFoRcE in the future. But he is just spamming units at the moment. He is looking like he's getting ready to max out. His 4th base is, of course, done by Monchi. He's got his 3rd up, hasn't taken the 5th or 6th gas yet, but I expect to see those shortly. The probe transfer coming down as well. That is all exactly right. In terms of the work count, exactly 10 ahead still. DarKFoRcE needs to start thinking, hang on, I'm committing so much to this 2-base play. But here we go. We've got another engagement now. The Immortals are pretty safely back. Some force fields go down, preventing the retreat of a lot of those roaches. And, well, 3 of the Immortals are at the other side, which could be a bit of a problem. But so much damage being done here. Monchi with a way better engagement angle here. And if we just hide this UI to get a better vision of everything that's going on, we can see the Monchi just pushing forward like an absolute beast. The roach is forced to retreat by DarKFoRcE right now. And this is already causing a big, big problem. This counter push could really easily tick off that 4th base in the north of this watchtower, and really DarKFoRcE has got nothing to do about it. He's getting a lot of Zerglings out, but hey, all of those Immortals are still up. The Roaches are going to be pretty much useless against these Immortals now, because, well, they've already got the 2-2 upgrades, and they're each in, aside from one, in double-figure kills, so that is pretty scary in its own right. 3 Burrowed Roaches just sitting there. Not a huge amount. The +2 missile attack is done now. These Zerglings pretty much useless, so they've got no upgrades at all, and that's against the +2 weapons of the Protoss. And, well, here we go. We've got an attempt from DarKFoRcE to get us around, but those Force Fields are absolutely beautiful. A great blink, and the Immortals are staying up, and that is the big problem. There is still, well, 1 did go down, but 3 Immortals are still up. If we look at the loss tab, just look at how much more cost-effective Monchi's being with his units. Absolutely insane, and as a result of that, I think Monchi could very well just come on and keep his momentum. He's got a Warp Prism on the field. That's going to allow a good number more warpings. Some Roaches trying to come to this round, but just great blink micro coming down already from the Protoss, and, well, as you can see, a great blink forward there, and, well, these Roaches are getting absolutely shredded. The big thing missing from DarKFoRcE's army, of course, are the Infestors, but there is the GG, and I can't help but feel that if DarKFoRcE had teched up a bit better early on, he may have had a bit of a better chance. The Infestation pit wasn't even down, I just had a quick scan over the map, so that is pretty bonkers. But anyway, that was game 2 of this best of 3, and it goes to Monchi, so I will see you at game 3 any second, and we are now at the very exciting point of series match points, so yeah, I'll see you there in any second. Bye for now.